technical glitch. I thought let me just start a little early, and there was no technical glitch today. So, yep, I'm all ready. Hi, Rizwan. How are you? Can you all hear me? Hello, Adarsh. Thank you for the confirmation, Adarsh. How are you doing? Hello, Harshit. I guess Rizwan and Adarsh. I haven't seen you guys in my previous streams. Is this your first time? Harshit, hello. Hi, Shruti. Hi, Taya Sindhu. Oh, pardon me if I have pronounced your name wrong. Okay, before we start, could you all please quickly tell me what you guys do? Are you a freelancer or corporate working professional, or are you both, or are you a startup founder? What is it that you guys are doing? It will help me set the pace of the session. Salesperson, she is a branding specialist, freelancer. That's nice. Okay, my internet seems to be a little slow. I am a student with plans of studying up. Interesting. Harshit, what are you planning to start up? Like, are you into some side hustles right now or what? Dayash do does poster designing. That's very niche and specific. That's nice. That's nice. Adarsh is working as a QA specialist. Okay, interesting. We've got like people from all walks of professions. That's really nice. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen, and I want you guys to confirm with me if you can see my screen or not. Something seems off. Hmm. Could you please confirm if you're able to see my screen? Okay, yeah, you can see my screen. Great. So, any one of you who has attended my previous sessions will know the format, but for everyone who has joined, this is their first time with me. I'm all happy to walk you through the format. This will be a lot more interactive session as against a monologue, and I'm gonna try and keep it as short as possible. So let's first understand what is brand messaging. I want you guys to tell me your understanding of brand messaging. Direct to consumer talking. Okay. Mohit, could you elaborate maybe a little? Message such that consumer can connect each and every mode of communication conveying one single brand message. It is about what users feel about brand. Okay, super. We are getting some good answers, relatable answers. It's not a sports about. Okay. So I have been explaining this to my all my clients or all the workshops that I hold with them, where when I have to explain them what is brand messaging, these are the exact words that I use. That it's an art of communication to convey to a target audience what does your business stand for, what do you offer, and in nutshell, if I have to put it, it's about what it's about communicating your brand promise. What are you promising to your consumers? What values are you promising to your customers? So while you know that internally, you need to explain it to your customers. You need to communicate it to your target market, and you do it through brand messaging. That whole process is called brand messaging. And okay, others is what consumers remember about the company itself. I am not very sure if that would be the apt way to say that. It's a branding in general when you say that what consumers remember about the company itself. But yeah, so brand messaging is precisely you are telling your consumers your youth. Brand message is a tool that is used by companies, businesses, startups, anyone who's running a business to communicate to the target audience what are they offering, what value are they bringing for the customers. This is in a nutshell, that is what is brand messaging. No jargons with it. So there are several components to brand message that builds up a brand message. I mean, you can't be going all around, you know, there has to be a sequence that's followed a certain framework, and all of this that you can see here: brand voice, slogan, positioning statement, mission and vision, value proposition, differentiators. All of these are components of brand message, and when you work on each of these components individually, it helps you eventually come up with the brand message. And I want to a lot of times I have seen, not just a lot of times, I think it's 99% of the time, that companies, businesses do not have their brand voice, they do not have their brand message in place. You have got a product good, you've launched it in the market good, but if you don't tell your consumers what is it that you're offering them, how are you standing differently from your competitors, why should they choose you over your competitors, and they're going to make up some narratives in their head, and then once, after a point, you won't be able to gain control of that narrative. So it's very important for you to to give a direction to the narrative, to your brand narrative, and brand message exactly helps you with that. Okay, Rizwan is asking, is the tagline part of brand message? Can you do an example? I'll take up your questions at the end. And I'll just quickly walk you all through these components in very brief, because if I keep on elaborating on all of it, it's going to be really, it would end up being, I don't know how many other sessions. Okay, can you tell me first what is your understanding of brand voice? Or what is the importance of brand voice and slogan? Let's take two things at once because they sync in well. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I guess, okay, I've received no answers, so I'm presuming that there is a lot of confusion because, of course, I can't see you guys. So, brand voice is in a way, a brand tone of voice, brand voice is the way you will be communicating. Are you going to keep it quirky? Are you going to keep it compassionate, empathetic, etc. when you're talking to your customers across different touch points? Slogan is, of course, a brand tagline. For Nike, we have got "Just Do It." For McDonald's, we have "I'm loving it." Nowadays, businesses don't tend to use taglines that actively, but it's always recommended to have a tagline that you could use in your marketing material that your consumers can relate to, and when they hear that tagline, they just know, oh yeah, that's this brand, right? uh, the third one being positioning statement. So this statement is precisely arrived after a lot of back back-end process like competitor research and market research, etc., which this positioning statement tells uh, how are you precisely helping your customers and why should they choose you over anyone else. Uh, the mission and vision statement, I think this to us self-explanatory, and it's always suggested that you as a business, before you start on with anything, have a clarity about this mission and vision of your business. Where is your business headed? Why are you launching the product in the market? You need to answer these questions, just as what problems are you solving for your customers, and if you have competitors in the market, then how are you being different? So this has to go beyond money, beyond revenue, or else your consumers won't be able to connect with you, and as a result, you'll just end up being a commodity and not a memorable brand. Value proposition talks about what value are you bringing to the customers, and the differentiators being this could be your brand personality, the colors that you use, or the way you communicate, your customer service, etc. There are multiple differentiators, which is in other words your unique selling proposition, or maybe the way you are manufacturing something, or maybe if you're into the service industry, how the processes that you have in place for delivering your services to the consumers. Okay. Shruti says, I think we should separate mission and vision. Yes, they are two very different things, mission and vision statements. People do tend to confuse it and consider it to be similar, but they are not. They are actually different if we dig deeper into understanding the purpose of each of the statements. Okay, I guess I just. Okay. Have you got any questions around those components of brand message? Okay, great. No questions. So we're going to quickly move to this next step. That's a very important step of once you understand and once you have answered individually the components of brand message, it's time to put all of them together and craft your brand that can help you with that will help you craft a brand message. So this is precisely a process that I have been using with my clients whenever I'm helping them with crafting their brand message, and yeah, and that is what I'm sharing with all of you today. So for me, it firstly starts with defining and helping them gain clarity about their vision and their mission. Why are they in the first place existing? Where are they headed? And what problem are they trying to solve? They need to answer these things clearly. So I recently came across a prospect who told me, okay, we have this X product and we're trying to solve some Y problem. And I asked them, who are your competitors? When they listed down their competitors, I asked them, how are you different? They're like, no, we're not exactly different, but we just want to do it. And I was like, okay, this is where we need to stop and think. Why do you want to do it? Just because it's a money making market, money making industry doesn't mean you just jump into it and start producing the thing that's being demanded in the industry by the consumers. So it's very important to know where you are headed and why you are starting in the first place. Because if that why is not clear for yourselves, your team members, your consumers won't be able to relate to it. The next bit comes is creating the consumer persona. Now, again, a lot of times B2B companies tend to have personas that are similar to B2Cs, but that shouldn't be the case. B2B and B2C consumer personas are really different. And again, now when you have a broader consumer persona, it's time to then break it down into individual consumer personas and make sure that every bit of it is being penned down. And in this consumer personas, always make sure to write the pain points that the customer is suffering through and how you're going to solve it, how your product or service is going to solve it. Once you're clear with these two things, the third thing is to move to the competitor research. And now, when I say competitor research, I usually tend to do a SWOT analysis from brand's point of view, from my client's point of view. So from my client's point of view, I'll see what is the strength that the competitor has. Okay, I cannot be probably positioning myself in the way where their strength is, but the weakness that they have somewhere where they're lagging, and the same thing with the opportunities and threats. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to look it from the brand lens and see what can be exactly done, and then after listing down all the SWOT analysis for the top three, four direct competitors and two, three indirect competitors, everything is compiled. Mostly the weaknesses of each of the competitor, to understand where could we exactly, how we could position our brand, and this and that from that research you come up with this brand positioning statement for yourselves. And once you have defined your brand positioning statement, we move on to defining our value proposition, which I've mentioned earlier as well, is a way for us. It's your business, what your business is promising to deliver to your consumers, like to your customers. What you're promising as a business to be delivered to your customers, and and then lastly, we move to the USP. So while you have found your brand, by through the weakness of your competitors, you have managed to find, where you could stand. But now you also need to understand, okay, so there are 4 to 5 areas where all of my competitors lag. Now, of what you are offering, there has to be one thing special that will help you. That is your USP, and that will help you stand out in the market. So you pick that USP, you pick that weaknesses of your competitors, and then you amalgamate it to make sure that you're standing out in the crowd. And and all of this is then being combined together to create a brand message for your business, to be communicated to your target audiences. Have I made sense with the 6-step process, and or was I too fast? I don't know. I guess I was a little too fast. Okay, Shruti and Nikhil has understood this. Thank you, guys. And what about others? It was a little confusing when you mentioned consumer persona and positioning statement. Adarsh, could you pinpoint what in particular was confusing for you? So when I'm saying, let me just walk you through both of these components again. Consumer persona is precisely a customer profile, who they are. So let's pick a B2C example because that's a very common industry and everyone talks about it. So who is it? Who your customer is. Now, when I say who, you're including all the demographics, their psychographics, their pain points, what, where do they usually hang out on, which social media platforms, if that is relevant to you. So you're answering all of that and creating individual customer personas for anyone to understand who is your business serving to. And a positioning statement is precisely, so if anyone reads that positioning statement of your business, they are precisely understanding who do you offer, what do you offer, what problems are you solving, and how are you unique. I hope this helps you. How do you connect the two? So, Adarsh, using the customer persona that you have, you're answering in the brand positioning statement the component of who are you serving. Okay, so while you're first initially written down in a broader sense, and who are you exactly serving, you narrow it down because you're usually using this for running ads or etc. for any other targeted marketing. And the brand positioning statement, the one of the three component is answering who is your business serving to. So this who is your customers, and you need to be crystal clear about who are you serving to. Harshita needs an example. Example around what? So if I have to say pick Amul, Amul is precisely serving to entire Indian, all the Indian households. Okay, they are not premium. Amul is not a premium brand, yet the way it has always communicated itself, the way it has positioned itself in the market as being a go-to product when it comes to the dairy needs, is what has made all of us pick Amul over any other brands that even have come that have launched in the recent years. The very famous tagline "At delicious but delicious and more delicious." That's for their butter tagline, and that's still there in our heads, though we don't really tend to see that ad that frequently, right? They've always celebrated Indian culture. They've always supported farmers, dairy farmers. So Amul serves precisely all the Indian households, from low income to upper and high income people, right? The reason that the and they have got range of products. It's not that it's all and they though they're offering at low pricing, affordable pricing is what I would say. The product quality has always been premium. I hope I'm making sense to you a little, and if there are any more specific questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll up and Rashmi had asked me, can you do an example of a brand message of a company, please? You could pick up Domino's. Domino's, when it launched, had a consistent brand message where it said that you get the pizza in 30 minutes or it's free, right? And because of this one thing, this one promise that they had communicated, they were able to 10x their sales as against their rivals like Pizza Hut. You can see the stats dating back to when Domino's and Pizza Hut had launched. You'll see that while Pizza Hut sales were comparatively flat, Domino's sales were exponentially increasing, and that was because of the way they had communicated their brand promise. Rizwan is asking me, what tools do you use to do competitive research? Rizwan, I have been using multiple tools. If it's a existing, if my client is say has been in the industry for quite some time, I do get a lot of data easily through social media platforms, through some competitive research tool like Spyfo and a couple of them which are premium. I'll have to check their names. I can't recall them. But a lot of times I do ask my clients as well, what do they know about their competitors, and uh, yeah. So a lot of times I've gone on to subscribing to their newsletters or uh, to stay updated with what's happening, how what promos are they releasing, this that, to make sure that I'm always updated with their latest offerings, etc. Okay. So while I'm awaiting a little more, some more questions, let me just go through. Is tagline part of brand message? Tagline is part of your brand message. It helps you communicate. Shruti has asked me, which brand have you come across recently with an excellent brand message? Okay, I have been lately using this ever since I moved to Bangalore. I have been taking services from Zepto. It's a 10-minute delivery startup. It's like a hyper local delivery. I don't know what is it exactly, but I love, so every time I'm going out for walking, I see them, their signages across the society gates, and the way they have been communicating the whole 10 minutes thing, and then delivering that thing in less than 10 minutes. When you download the app, you will see from the location how much time will it take within 10 minutes to get certain stuff delivered, whatever you're ordering. So I have been really lately loving Zepto's brand messaging. They are still, I think, in metropolitan cities and they're expanding, but I really love their services. Nikhil says that Alexa is also super useful, super helpful in user research. Okay, I've never used Alexa and I don't know how exactly can I use Alexa, but if Nikhil could share it with us, it would be great. Harshit is asking what resources do you use to learn and write brand messaging? Harshit, you'll have to be a little more specific. I'm not sure if I'm understanding. What are you trying to ask? Okay, I have answer to your question, and that being this. Then I'm launching a. So I'm making this announcement right here on the Creator platform. I haven't made any official announcement anywhere yet. That I'm launching a free email course to help startup founders, entrepreneurs, anyone who owns a business to craft their brand message. The sign up link I would be sharing in the next session that would be held next week, and it's the only first round of email course that would be for free, and post which everything, all the consecutive uh, batches would be paid ones. So you do not really want to miss out on the thing, and for which you need to make sure that you are attending my consecutive sessions, because I've got a lot of surprises coming up. I hope this helps you answer your question, Harshit, because this email course that I have been working on will help you walk through each step that I walk my clients through. So I'm precisely walking you through each step personally via emails to build and craft your brand message. And you can follow me on LinkedIn, of course, if in case you can't attend my next session, to make sure that you get access to that link. And yep. So let's take up all the questions that we still might have for me. Um, have you got any more questions? Yep. Have you got any more questions for me? And something that I would like to quickly understand from all of you who have been attending my sessions is, do you want to go dive deeper into this brand messaging, the how to brand messaging bit next week? And then, of course, in 30 minutes, there's only too much that I'll be able to share. But is that something that you guys would be interested in? Then I would probably have a part 102, 201, I don't know what is it called, but for the next session, wherein we are walking through this whole how to bit again. That's going to be a little crispier, and the elaborated version would be through the email course that would be launched on Creator exclusive, and then of course on my social media platforms. When is the next session exactly? Rashmi, it's likely to be either on Wednesday or Friday. I'm yet to send them the dates because I'm going on a trip. It's going to be next week, either on Wednesday or Friday. But I guess the creator team will let you know whenever we have the next session scheduled. And you can always go ahead and follow me and creator on LinkedIn, so that whenever they're announcing about my session, you will not miss out on it. Rizwan, will you be able to share the PPT you showed? This would be shared, but as a part of that email course. I cannot share because it's a personal property, right? So, but it would be shared via the email course. Any doubts around brand messaging? Any little doubts that you might have, maybe about the components, or maybe about the 6-step framework that I walked you through? Thank you, Creator Team, for sharing my LinkedIn ID profile link. Uh, yeah. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Nikhil. It was lovely having all of you here. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next session as well. And I'm locking this session, the next sessions around to be on second part of around brand messaging, where we'll solely focus on the how to component of brand messaging. And I dive deeper into each of those 6 steps with you and walk you through the process. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.